probably wondering why I'm putting toothpaste on my driver. Is it because you're an idiot? Well, yes. Basically, it's got a little mark on the crown, like that when I got it, I promise. I read somewhere that you can use toothpaste to kind of buff it out. Not optimistic about that working, but I guess you never know until you try. No, that's done absolutely nothing, but at least now my driver smells nice and minty. Anyway, before we get into this video, for some unknown reason, we've gone from 1,000 subscribers about 2 weeks ago to over 1,500 now. Thank you very much to everyone that has subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so now, because you probably won't feel like it after you've watched the video. Speaking of subscribers, I need to do the draw for the giveaway thing that I did a couple of weeks ago to win these golf balls. That went a bit weird, didn't it? Are these golf balls holy or something? I don't know if it did it that time. Anyway, to enter, all you had to do was leave a comment on one of my previous videos. I don't know why I'm telling you this now, because obviously if you haven't entered, it's too late. You can't win these holy balls. To make things fair, I'm going to try to use this kind of random comment picker so that you know I'm not just picking out one of my mates. Okay, YouTube random comment picker. Right, so this was the video. Oh, there's me, look. Hi. Okay, so I need to get the link for that. This is well exciting for you. Put it in there. Okay, so there were 89 unique commenters. So, you ready? Start raffle and pick random winner. Oh, look, there's all your names. Who's it going to be? Doug Dibble. Love the video. I'm around 12 but not playing much. Hope this year to play a few rounds. Good on you, Doug. So now I've just got to hope that you live in England, really, so that the postage doesn't cost me a fortune. If you live in some remote African village and I've got to get them choppered in, I'm not going to be too pleased. But well done, Doug. Send me a message on YouTube and I will get those balls sent out to you. Now, today I want to talk about the stats that a lot of us use to track our game and why they're not only pointless, they might actually be making us worse. Now, Mark Twain said, Mark Twain, oh, someone's been to school. There are 3 kinds of lies. Lies, damned lies, and statistics. He's basically saying that people will believe anything if it's presented in a nice, easy to understand number. Here's another one of life's great thinkers making a similar point.
Mr. Simpson, how do you respond to the charge that petty vandalism such as graffiti is down 80%, while heavy sack beatings are up a shocking 900%?
Oh, people can come up with statistics to prove anything, Kent. 40% of all people know that.
I see. Well,
unfortunately, I reckon that well over 40% of people are tracking completely the wrong golf stats. Let's go to the golf course and I will show you what I mean. Right, the first one I want to talk about is putts per round. It's one of the most common stats that people track and it's so pointless. All the time people say things like, oh, I putted crap today, I had 36 putts, last week I putted much better, I only had 28 putts. I get that that seems pretty logical. I mean, the fewer putts you had, the better you must have putted, right? Well, no. That's a par. Let's say that you play 2 rounds of golf this weekend. On Saturday, you're hitting it terribly, you're never in position off the tee, and even when you do have a chance to hit a green in regulation, you miss it, so you don't hit a single green in reg all day. As a result of that, all of your shots that actually do end up on the green are from pretty close in because you're missing greens, so you've either left like a little chip or at most a pitch into the green. So obviously you're hoping to get those kind of shots relatively close. Because you're hitting such short shots into the green, sometimes you one putt. So you end up with 28 putts, let's say. But on Sunday, you're swinging it loads better. You're hitting great drives, you put yourself in good positions, and you hit every single green in regulation. But that means that your shots that end up on the green are anything from, you know, a full pitching wedge up to maybe like a hybrid from 225 yards onto the green. So understandably, they're not exactly finishing stone dead. You know, the best players in the world aren't knocking it stiff every single time from 220 yards. out of those 18 greens you hit, you do manage to put one pretty close, and you drain one putt from, let's say, 40 feet for a birdie. All the other greens you two putt, so you end up having taken 34 putts in total. So here's the thing, you didn't putt any better on Saturday than you did on Sunday, you just played better on Sunday. On Sunday you actually putted pretty well. You hold the only genuine birdie chance you had when you put it in close. You drained one from 40 feet, which really you wouldn't necessarily expect to hold. You managed to avoid having any 3 putts, despite the fact that on some of the greens you were quite a long way from the hole. So all in all, that's brilliant putting, and you had 34 putts. The only reason you had fewer putts on Saturday is because, like I said, your shot before your putt was always from so close. When you're hitting a green in regulation from 150, 200 yards away, you're unlikely to be as close as you are when you're hitting a little chip or a pitch from 20 yards, 30 yards, 50 yards. Putts per round counts 2 putting from 130 feet away on a green that you've hit in regulation, the same as 2 putting from 5 feet and you've already had 8 shots to get to the green. That's a bit like saying that you're fine to drive home because you've only had 1 beer, ignoring the fact that it was 8 litres. 3, 2, 1, Right, next up, let's talk about driving accuracy. So I'm on the tee of a long par 4. I could top it off the tee, it only go 30 yards but dribble onto the fairway, and that would count as a fairway hit. Or I could rip it 300 yards, miss the fairway by half a yard, leave myself in a perfect position to stick it on the green and try and make birdie, but that would count as a fairway miss. Now, which of those shots would you rather hit? Well, according to the stats, the little dribble off the tee is the better shot. The final stat that I want to talk about is greens in regulation. Now, this is a tricky one because it has got some merit in it as a stat. Generally, the more greens you hit, the better you're going to score. So it's worth tracking to an extent. However, it's still not perfect, and I'll show you why. So let's say that I've hit 2 shots into this green. I've got this one, which has missed the green, but is probably 8 or 10 feet away from the hole. So I'll be hoping to hold that really, or at worst 2 putt. Just love it when stuff proves my point. That was only my 50th take. The other one has hit the green, so statistically it's a better shot, but it's about 400 miles away from the hole. Still walking, still walking, still walking. I mean, I'm going to need my laser now to find out how far the pin is. We're on the green, but that's a long way away, and realistically I'm going to 3-putt that more often than I'm going to 1-putt it. If you put any golfer in those 2 positions over a period of time, they're going to score better with that ball that's a lot closer but just off the green. And that's the problem with statistics. It looks like hitting that green would have been a better option, but actually you would take that one all day long. So hopefully that's cleared up a little bit about why some of these stats aren't maybe as good as they seem. They can actually harm your game, because if you're analysing your stats, and that is obviously the point of keeping them, to analyse and see what's letting you down, see what you need to work on. So you might be looking at your stats thinking, I'm having a lot of putts, so obviously my putting is the problem. But it actually might be that you just hit a lot of green. You just can't expect to be holing putts on every single green you hit in regulation. And actually what you need to work on is, say, better chipping when you miss greens, so that you can get up and down those ones that you miss. Or you might look at it and say, oh, driving's actually pretty good, I hit a lot of fairways, when actually you're just skying it 80 yards up in the air and hitting each fairway. I would hope that obviously if you're doing that you would realise your driving's not that good. But you might be looking at it thinking, oh, you're not hitting many fairways, your driving's crap, when actually you're in perfectly good positions. You don't have to be on the fairway always to hit a good drive. There's holes here where there's a tree in the middle of the fairway, so you could be on the fairway tucked up behind a tree, or there's rough, which is not too bad, so technically you'd have missed the fairway, but you've got a decent position, you've got a good chance to hit the green. I hope that has made some sense. I'm not convinced it has. I'm also a bit worried that it's blowing an absolute gale today, so you might just be hearing all the time. Now I can hear just a chainsaw or something. It's ideal. If you found it useful, please do like the video and pop a comment down below just to let me know what you think. If you want, I can do a video about some different stats that actually are useful to track. So let me know if you want to see that. I'm also halfway through filming my long overdue practice schedule. That will be out next week, I promise. If you don't know, it's the practice schedule that's based on the way some college golfers practice, and it's what got me from 9 to 5 last year in the space of a month. So definitely worth looking out for. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the future. Oh, it's happened again. Snapperoo. Thanks, wind.